Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7, 365 for your family, friends, and loved ones. Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check out great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show, and make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific lady who is an actress and producer and a native Californian, beginning her career as a professional ice skater, and at 8 years old, graduated from USC in psychology and also minored in cinema. She also taught school and ice skating. She was also a fit model in the garment industry and fashion consultant. We'll talk about that. She embraces a 3D theory, and what that is, we'll find out. Also, she's a host of a brand new YouTube channel. She's also been in a couple of movies, and she's got a new book out now, which is a little tribute, and it's a part of the camp. We'll talk about that. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studio, somewhere in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, the amazing, multi-talented actress, producer, and author of a brand new book where you can write a book. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing lady from Campy Lane, Elaine Ballace. Elaine, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello. Wait, my thing that says meeting is recorded by host or participant is still up. How do I get rid of that?
You know something? I think you have to talk to the Zoom gods on this one, but of course, you know, this is okay, and no one's gonna be listening in. Will Smith's not gonna come over, or nor the bad guy, so we are okay.
How do we move it?
Very carefully.
Wait, I got it.
Oh, yay. Hey, I like that. And you didn't have to go to the YouTube channel, try to figure that out. Well, speaking of YouTube channel, you also got your new YouTube channel. We'll talk about Camp Elaine. You're an actor, producer, and a native Californian. Began your career as a professional ice skater at 8 years old. Graduated from USC in psychology, a minor in cinema. You also taught school in ice skating. You're a fit model in the garment and fashion industry. Also being a consultant as well, and you also embrace the 3D theory. We'll talk about what that is. You also been in a couple of movies with The Rich and the Ruthless, The Misadventures of Campy Lane. You also got a YouTube channel. You also have another movie called Love Without Hairs, and a brand new book, which is how to write a book. We'll talk about that. And before we get started, Elaine, just tell us how you first got started.
Well, actually, the skating started. I had an older sister who was very badly knock-kneed, and the doctor said, why don't you try ice skating? And my parents thought, okay, because they didn't, my sister was young and they didn't want, surgeries and stuff like that. So we tried ice skating, and I was just a little baby, and I kept saying, I want to do it. And I think it probably in the long run would have been so much cheaper had they just, done the surgery and I never went to the ring, But so I got there because my sister, and I continued, and she moved on to other things.
Hmm.
So, but I am so grateful to skating, I must say. It's changed a lot. I've seen a lot of changes in the sport. And when I was 8 and turned professional, you couldn't earn any money,
Really?
as an amateur athlete. It didn't matter what it was in, whether it was skating or something else, you couldn't do it. So, my father said, well, let her go pro, and I just love shows. I've always loved shows. I think from the time my parents have told me, from the time I was 3 or 4 years old, whenever there was a family dinner, there was a variety show afterwards, and I always produced it.
Oh
And as
my
I got older,
goodness.
I had
Yeah.
costumes and props, and I would never throw anything out. People say, "Oh my God, you're such a hoarder," and it's like, no, I'm a collector. This is really a prop shop.
Huh.
And so, almost any prop or something funny or cute or different or fun, I can provide. And so I've used it a lot through, through my campy lanes, and that's evolved over many, many years. And it actually started, do you recall, public access?
I remember public access, and it was highlighted by Wayne's World as well, too, who are the king of public access wherever they were at. I remember that so well.
Okay, well, I was the queen of public access.
Woo!
And they had, what they did in those days, which was really fun, is there were a lot of different stations. It's kind of like everything now, like 3 people own everything.
Hmm.
But then there were different segments of, there would be one, like, for example, I think it was called Century Cable at the time, which is now everything is Spectrum. They bought up all the cable companies. But there was one that was on the west side, and then there was one that was in Los Angeles. Then there was another one in the East Valley, not Century, but a different cable in the East Valley. Then there was another one in the West Valley. And so you could kind of like leapfrog your shows. So you had a lot of different areas and locations and shows that were on in all different locations
Wow.
all the time.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I figured
Wow.
out how to work it. So I started out actually producing someone else's show, and he just got tired of doing it and couldn't do it. And so the time was there, and someone said, well, why don't you do it? And I was very much into sports, and it's all a matter of timing, but I always wanted to be Phyllis George, who
Interesting. I think it would.
yeah.
I think it would have made a great Phyllis George as well too. And what was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career? Not just ice skating, but just simply what you're doing overall.
Well, I think everything kind of evolves. You reach a point in skating when you know you really can't do it anymore. And it's like your mind knows what your body can no longer do. And we have a little girl here who is so obstinate, and she wants to be on camera.
Oh,
And her name is Mika.
hi,
Say
Mika.
hi, Mika.
Hello, Mika. Hi. Are you trying to be an ice skater or be part of Camp Lane? Are you trying to be like that? Come on, come
She
fast,
is just
doggy.
trying to hog the show. And so anyway, so getting back to Campy Lane. So they said, well, we've got a live show. Do you want to do it? And I went, sure, I'll do it, and I was so into sports. I mean, I guess truthfully, I wanted to be a running back my whole life.
Oh,
And I
really?
even went to USC because they were known for running backs. And I kept thinking they would discover my talent, that
Uh-huh.
they would know I could run. And now I couldn't do it, but back then it would have been fun. And I just loved, to me, football was like a representation of life. Sometimes you run, sometimes you kick, sometimes you pass, sometimes you punt, sometimes you're intercepted, sometimes, you fumble. So everything is, it's a part of life. And I just loved football. when I went to school, I went to Hollywood Professional School, and that was just a basic 4 hours of academics, and then you could go on to do whatever. And I learned about it through skating because many skaters went there, but many celebrities went there.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, the school was started for Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney.
Really?
And as opposed to, because they didn't always have, um, lots with schools on them. And so it was basically started way back then, I think in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And then it evolved, and the school closed in 1985.
Mm.
But we had the Cowsills, we had Beach Boys, we had Brenda Lee, we had many of the Mouseketeers went there, the Sunrays, just Marta Kristen, Patty McCormick, everybody. Wink Martindale's wife went there, Sandy Martindale, and she also was dated Elvis for years, the girlfriend of Elvis.
Ah, that's interesting.
And I always wanted to be her growing up too. It's like, I always wanted to be you. And so every time we meet somewhere, or at an event, either Sandy says it first or I say it first. I go, I always wanted to be her. Or Sandy will say, she always wanted to be me, And because I thought she was just perfect. I mean, she was beautiful. She was talented. Her father owned a very famous club in Los Angeles and Hollywood. And like at 16, I think she was running the club, and running the businesses. And so, I mean, she was involved in show business from, I guess, day one.
Oh
And
my goodness.
so growing up, we grew up with, a lot. Melody Patterson went there, Butch Patrick, just so many people. And I skated. Then we moved from one rink to another rink and went to a bigger ice surface, which was the Polar Palace, which was in Hollywood, across the street from Paramount Studios.
Interesting.
And now it's another studio, and I always forget the name. It's not Melrose Studios, but it's on Melrose across the street. And everybody used to come there as well, because it was a very famous rink, and you can find information about it on YouTube and on the internet. And so anyway, then the rink burned down and everyone kind of scattered. But so you just went from rink to rink, different rinks, until people felt comfortable or you were able to drive or do whatever. There weren't that many rinks, but now there's still a lot of rinks in Southern California, but in different locations.
Wow, that is
So,
something. And who are some of your favorite professional ice skaters growing up?
well, it's funny. People ask me, and it's the ones that people may or may not know about. Like, to me, the greatest skater was Ronnie Robertson, and he was the fastest spinner, and my spins were really good. And I was in the Guinness book of sports records and for spins, and they were gonna either choose him or me for the book, and they wanted, I think, to go with a girl. So I got chosen to do it. And Ronnie, though, was phenomenal. He was a great jumper, he was a great spinner, he was a great showman. I mean, he was probably the greatest skater I ever saw. And then the modern day ones, I mean, I love John Curry, Robin Cousins, Tim Wood, just, so many were so good. I mean, the girls, of course, everyone looks at Peggy, but Janet Lynn was brilliant. Dorothy Hamill.
Dorothy Hamill, I remember her. Yeah. And then you had Mary Lou Retton, who was like the queen of it back in the 80s. And I think they had
Was in gymnastics. Yeah.
Oh, that was it. I'm sorry. I'm thinking
Yeah.
the other one. Oh my gosh. Oh, boy, why am I
Well,
thinking
you
that?
had Peggy and then Janet and then Dorothy. And then later on, Michelle Kwan.
That's what I was thinking of, Michelle Kwan. Okay.
Yeah. And I never met her. I saw her. She was skating at the Toyota Center before she moved up to the mountain there, and then built her own rink. And I don't even know if she still skates or not. I'm not sure. but it's, the evolution of skating, and I think the old timers really miss the beauty, and not just the art form really. And most of them all did figures, so their edges were phenomenal. And I said to somebody, I said, well, if you really want to see beautiful skating, watch the Japanese, because
Oh, yes, yes.
they are phenomenal. And someone said, well, that's because they're still doing figures. So they have beautiful edges in and out of their jumps. The speed, the rotation is phenomenal. And everything is just, it's just really, really wonderful. But skating is so political. Like we were talking earlier, everything is political.
Oh,
Everything is so political.
and of course, you always favor one person over the other, give the medal to this or that, or tie to this and everything. And the Olympics is like, oh my God,
Oh,
don't
the
get me
Olympics were a
started on it. Yes.
nightmare this year. And I mean, similar to what goes on, it seems like in everything, but in sport, they let her skate because they said she was only 15 or 15 and a half, and she, didn't know better. Well, I mean, she also had 3 other substances of hormone inhibitors
Yes,
in her.
that was the thing I was going to mention about the pads or performance enhancing drugs. That was also controversy, and also another one was the quality of the ice. And then I guess they went to Chinese officials and they got very defensive about it. Normally, it's like if people complain about the United States ice, like okay, we'll fix it. But the Chinese got really defensive. And what I've noticed too, that over the years when it comes to China, and I'm gonna come out and say this, is that the Chinese ice was similar to the stadium that built when they had the Olympics. It was like a beautiful stadium. And 5 years later, it started falling apart and rusting like crazy. And Chinese ice, I felt it would just melt in a day or less than a day.
I don't know, but it's kind of the first thing that you always complain about. It's like the ice's fault, and then it's the equipment's fault. And then, it's your fault last,
Right. And of
but
course, they
ice
never.
really is important. And oftentimes the problem with ice is that hockey ice is a lot harder and thinner than figure skating ice.
Hmm.
And so with hockey ice, there are lots of ruts very quickly because of their blades and the
Yeah,
way
they
they're
skate, they
going.
stop, and
Yeah.
everything like that.
And whereas in figure skating, you want it to be a little bit softer. So when you're landing, there's a little more give and it's not as brittle and you're not breaking the ice as
Mm.
badly.
That makes perfect sense. When you fall trying to do a triple axel, you fall on your rear end and everything. And the next thing you know, they'll be blaming the Zamboni driver and suing the Zamboni driver and the company itself and the blade manufacturer. Like, what are you gonna do next?
Oh, everything has become so politicized that it's really kind of tragic. It's like even with comics, I understand, they have to be so careful now because it's not politically correct to say this or do that or anything. And I mean, Mel Brooks, I love him so much. And he says, political correctness ruined comedy.
Yes, that's right. And I posted on my Facebook page a few times, and I've gotten no resistance from that. And everyone agreed for once that yes, political correctness is killing comedy. Mel Brooks really hit on the head.
And so, speaking of him, and then we can go to a segue to my books. Um, Here is Mel Brooks's book, and I did 4 movies with him, and he's absolutely my favorite person in the whole wide world. But it's called Mel Brooks, All About Me.
Oh my gosh,
And
I've
he
been wanting to read that
autographed it.
book.
Oh, it's really good. I read the second half first because I was familiar with the movies and I wanted to see what they wrote about. And here is my book, which is How to Write a Book Camp Elaine Style with Oreo. And Oreo was the love of my life, my soulmate, and everything. And unfortunately, he passed in August. And when I got Mel's book, I said, well, I'm going to send him a copy of my book autograph. And let me show you the difference in books. Okay. All right. And so with his book, he had a wonderful career.
Oh yeah, use the
My book is a
Schwartz.
little more limited.
Use the
However,
Schwartz. Yes. I remember that.
my book was really an inspiration. At first, it started out as everybody really does need a cheerleader in life. You really kind of need that positive reinforcement and support. And then came the pandemic. Okay.
Mhm.
Then came the civil unrest. And it was like, they're rewriting history. I mean, no matter what you thought, they were rewriting history of
Uh-huh.
what was. So I decided to turn it into a book for you to write your history the way you want it told in your handwriting, and nobody can change it. So you're leaving your legacy for your family, your friends, for the world to see. And I'm just there cheering you on. We're almost there. We've got it. You can do it. And I am your personal cheerleader along the way.
And that's certainly amazing. We'll talk more about the book along with your other movies in just 1 minute. But first, listen to the Mike Widener Show at the MikeWidenerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking a budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Widener Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even evidence endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today of 4 Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Widener Show at the MikeWidenerShow.com, over 30 podcast platforms. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Widener Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Widener Show on Instagram and Twitter today. For great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Widener Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for Missing, Once, and Wrinkles, and cool merchandise, t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Widener Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWidenerShow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. But the Mike Widener Show, make sure you do so today. We're here with the amazing multi-talented actress, producer, and author of the book, How to Write a Book, Camp Elaine Style, here on the Mike Widener Show. And, just maybe a bit more. And once again, just, what actually inspired you in the first place to write a book, Camp Elaine Style?
Well, I am just so impressed that you can say all those words so quickly.
Now, there'll be a quiz after this. I'm going to hold you to it. Mel, you're taking the quiz. And your dog's got to take the
Mel
quiz
will
too.
pass the quiz. Trust me. I'm not so sure I will, but he will.
He'll probably cheat.
Oh, well, that who cares? That, at this point, who cares? But I do have a question on the Broncos. Is that the Denver Broncos, or do you have Broncos in North Dakota?
We actually have, it's actually a Denver Broncos mug, and I'll give you a side story on that one. We'll talk about Camp Elaine, and maybe you can help me write a book on this one, was that I actually got this mug. We're on vacation in South Dakota, took the family down, and I was like in a little rut as well, too. We need to get out. We need to do something, and I need to freshen up my act. So while we're in South Dakota, we went to Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower in Wyoming, home of well, they shot Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Crazy Horse. And by the way, that was my favorite. And also they have the bear country. They have the live zoo animals roaming around. Of course, you kept the windows down. You didn't feed the animals. Lions, tigers, and bears were just live. And right by a window, it's want to say hi to you. They're, friendly, though, if you don't tick them off. And then you also went to Deadwood, Lead, Sturgis, and check out the history over there during the gold rush. And then you also had Hill City, where you had all kinds of Black Hills jewelry. And my wife bought some. My kids bought some trinkets over there. And then I found a little department store and I got this mug for $15 because I needed a coffee mug. And I'm a Packer fan, by the way, which they're all sacred. I don't put anything in it. And I got for $15. And I found out later that the Broncos had a really bad year. So I keep this in front of me as homage to starting the Mike Wagner show. And that's how I got started. So this reminded me of how far it's come as well, too. So I'm glad you asked me about that.
Well, I love Aaron Rodgers and I love his spirit. And I think, that he's a great quarterback. Russell Wilson is going to the Broncos, so they should have a good year. And Patrick Mahomes, I hope he settles down. He had a great year and then he had a baby, and that seemed to really distract him. Now he's married. So maybe now that he's married with his baby, he'll be able to focus back on, football.
And hopefully a smarter quarterback as well, too, because he was running all over the place at 90 miles an hour, throwing 500 yards at 90 miles an hour and smashing records. And then when the Chiefs started losing because the defense wasn't doing its job, he had to slow down. He started playing smarter football. So I think he'll be like a Russell Wilson, just playing smarter football down the road, but much earlier pace. And if he slows down, he'll be a much more effective quarterback. And with all the quarterback shuffling going on, I think this would be a very, very interesting year in the NFL, especially.
Well, and Brady's coming back. They
Mhm.
used to say that about Joe Montana. They never thought he would retire, but I honestly do not think Brady will ever retire.
He will
I
retire.
think the NFL will shut down before Brady retires.
Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure. If Brady wins another Super Bowl, then he'll retire. He said that as goal the whole time. And of course, he also got Carson Wentz, who went to school at North Dakota State and went to school in Bismarck, North Dakota. He's with his third football team in like what 3-5 years with the Washington Commanders. And hopefully he'll do something and solve their quarterback situation. His time in Indy was okay, but then bombed in the end. So I mean, you got that going on, and then you've got a saga with their Arizona quarterback, Kyler Murray, who doesn't know where he's going to go. And you got the Rams. Is Stafford going to stay? Is he going to go or whatever? And I mean, it's all up in the air right now, to be honest with you. But
And Jimmy G too in San Francisco.
that's right. Yeah. And in fact, you get him to write a book, Camp Elaine style. How to write a book. You can put whatever, Camp, whatever, Carson Wentz or Joe Montana or anybody else. Yeah. But you got Oreo in there. And once again, just tell us about Oreo. And yeah, everybody needs a cheerleader, even quarterbacks, you and me and all that. It's like you can encourage everybody to write a book.
Especially quarterbacks, because they never know what's going to happen. And then here's the backside, and that kind of indicates how close we were, and he was just really the love of my life, and Mel loved him too. And there's another picture of him.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing as well, too. And
Yeah, he was just it was one of those things. He was originally my neighbor's dog, and he came over. The little girl brought him over to show my mom, and he saw me, he jumped into my arms, and it was just love at first sight. I mean,
wow.
you've never ever experienced anything like it. And so he kind of kept coming over to see me and visit me, and I would take him for walks and everything, and he would run away from home, and I was just heartbroken. And we found him and everything, and the people said, we're going to sell him. And I go, no, you're not. Just you
Oh,
hold on, let me go get my checkbook, I will write you a check for whatever. And he and I were together until the day he died. And
wow.
I mean, he died in my arms, and it was really sad because he had lymphoma and there's no cure.
Hmm. And then
And
you also have the book like a Camp Elaine style. How's that different from the other styles as well, too? Everyone wonder what is the Camp Elaine style?
it's do what you can to make yourself happy with somebody encouraging you. It's like there's no judgment. You write your story the way you want it told. And that's the whole idea of the book, because you can't always believe, no offense to the media, but you can't always believe what they're telling you. And they keep rewriting history and government approves it.
Hmm.
So I want people to write their own experience, what they went through, maybe with the pandemic, what they went through, with all that's going on. And now we're in a war. And, it's like, what are you experiencing? And each one of us is going to experience it differently.
Hmm. And
And
that's
that was the whole idea.
a really good point as well too. And it didn't stop there with the book. You also been in movies too, like The Rich and the Ruthless, Misadventures of Campy Lane, and Love Without Hairs. You got a YouTube channel out there as well too. And I was going to ask you as well too. It's like, you went from professional skating over to acting, and maybe just tell us about a bit about the transaction. Was it a smooth one, a rough one, or
Well, to
transition
tell you
like
the truth, how I got to be a professional was, I was doing shows, but I was also doing commercials.
Oh
And at
wow.
the time that I was doing commercials, you couldn't do anything to make money if you were a skater. And it didn't matter whether they were skating commercials or not. Mine, a couple of them weren't, but most of them were. And so that was really a great experience. And I have taken the discipline from skating into everything else. I did it with school, I did it with acting, I did it with everything. So I was acting when I was younger. And then when I got older, I really, really wanted to do it. And I enjoyed production too, because my minor was cinema, because
Mm.
I wanted to learn how everything is done.
Oh wow.
And so I liked that. And then I love psychology because I always try to figure everything out. And so that was really fun. And I did a combination of everything. Plus, what I did was, I was also with urban studies. So
Mm.
I had an idea of what was going on in urban communities. So I have a plethora of knowledge that most people don't care about
Wow.
and experiences. So I think acting was always my joy. And my parents told me from the time I was 3 or 4 years old, whenever we would have like a family dinner or something like that, I'd always put on a show afterwards. It's like, okay, we're doing a variety show, whatever you want to do, and
Forget the
pass
TV and
the
the
hat
movies
around.
and the heck with Ed Sullivan show. Here's Elaine.
Exactly. So I just knew from the time, I guess I was at least 5. I think that's when you really remember 4 or 5. And I just knew that I had to be an entertainer.
Oh my
So
gosh. And
I
and you're
just knew.
and you're an amazing one too. And who are some of your favorite actors and
Well, of
singers
course,
growing up?
Mel Brooks, he's my favorite.
Oh,
And
I meant to say the yellow ones. I forgot.
well, I think as a child during summer vacation, before I'd go to the rink, I'd always watch TV. So, I mean, of course, Lucy. And then, of course, as I got older, Mary Tyler Moore. And, they're just Sally Field, just so many. And they were so talented, but I loved the old, like I loved Mae West and, people like that that are more eccentric and out there.
Hmm.
And so I always loved that kind of comedy. And modern day, I guess I would have to say Martin Short.
Oh, I love Martin Short, and I
Yeah,
think he was in. I was trying to think. One movie, Cross My Heart, The Three Amigos, and I think he was in a couple others. He was one of the. He was one of the principal players in what was it? Second City TV, and he was just amazing.
he is to me one of the most talented people out there right now. I just love watching Martin Short, and he's always going to bring something different and fun and, kind of campy. I would love to work with him. He played Gene Wilder's part in the live show of the producers in Los Angeles.
Wow, amazing.
And so he was brilliant. There were moments where you actually saw Gene, and you go, wait, is that Gene? So that was really, I just love him. I think he's so talented and so much fun. And I did a movie with Bill Hader, The Bucket List.
Hmm.
And No, the to-do list. That's it. It was called the to-do list. And Bill Hader was so much fun. And it was so funny because I didn't realize that his ex-wife and they were married at the time, that she was directing it. And she was just
Wow.
like this beautiful woman, and you would think, wow, I mean, Bill Hader is like a character actor,
Hmm.
and she's this gorgeous woman. And it was so funny. And when he came on the set, and I go, there are a couple, and I just first glance, automatic response. I went, Stefan, like how we used to do on Saturday Night Live. But it was just automatic. It was like, Stefan,
Stefan.
and it was so funny. And he was just the nicest guy in the world, and I just so enjoyed. We didn't have any scenes together, but he was there the night that I was working, and I said, I just love you. You're just so funny. I go, I guess I better be good tonight because you're here, pressure's on. And and afterwards he came over to me and he goes, oh, he goes, I so enjoy you. You're so funny. And it was like, oh, thank you. That's really great. And I would love to see him again. I haven't seen him, since the movie. And The Rich and the Ruthless, it did start off as a movie, and then Victoria Rowell, who was on The Young and the Restless, and now she's on Good Sam. She broke it up into a series. So it was a soap opera, a behind the scenes kind of soap opera. And it's now on BET Plus, so you can see all 4 seasons.
Nice.
I was really pressuring her for season 5, but now that she's on a new series and she's directing a lot, she's becoming a well-known director.
Wow.
So I think she may just be happy with the 4.
Mhm. I mean, I would be too. And of course, you also have been in other projects too, like with Mel Brooks.
Well,
One of
I
my
was in
favorites, your favorites.
Spaceballs
Yes,
and
Spaceballs. You've
Life
been in Dracula,
Stinks,
Dead and Loving It. Of course,
Dracula, Robin Hood Men in
History of the
Tights.
World. Let's see what else. Blazing Saddles, our all-time favorite. And of course, you got Young Frankenstein. I love that line. It's like, yes, we got Frankenstein. That's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, yeah. Well, it was so funny because I was just a kid and I met Mel, and I'm like reciting every line from, Blazing Saddles. And he just sort of stopped and stared and said, how did you get in? I go, how did I get in? I've seen it 5 times already, And so, and then he was making Young Frankenstein at the time. And so I got to go to some of the screenings before it came out and went to the premiere and everything. And it was just, I mean, it was so amazing. And so by the time he got to Spaceballs, I said, okay, that's it. Either you put me in the movie or I'm just going to show up every day. You have your choice. I am in it. So in Spaceballs, I was the first space captain. And the most exciting thing about it, because I didn't really have any pictures or anything, and I was on IMDb looking through Mel's pictures, and I went, oh my God, there I am. So I just felt so honored that I was even on Mel Brooks's IMDb page.
How do you like that? My favorite one was like, here, give me Mr. Coffee. And then we go to Mr. Radar. And then another one where it was like, the radar, better jam the radar and throw some strawberry jam right at it. And it's like jamming the radar. You get it? And then I love the part about where they're trying to comb the desert. Comb the desert.
Oh, everybody remembers that.
Oh,
The same as, in Saddles, it was, may I present to you this Laurel and hearty handshake. When they, gave the wreath and the hearty,
the hearty
and,
handshake. Yes. Oh my gosh.
And when
then,
they were doing the pie in the face, what was it? For Mongo, what did they call it? Telegram.
Telegram,
For
yes.
Mongo, telegram for Mongo,
Whack.
so it was, I mean, everything is so brilliant. And one thing that was so fun was, I believe it was AFI, when they, or no, Turner Classic, I think it is, who has their like event every year where they bring people. And I got to actually see Blazing Saddles in the theater that they showed where Gene's coming in at the end, you know, to
Wow.
watch the movie.
Hmm.
Well, it used to be called Groman's, but now I think it's called something else. But Mel was in the theater that night. He stayed to watch it because he loves to hear the audience response. And
Hmm.
so, I mean, being in the theater with Mel Brooks while they're screening Blazing Saddles was like a highlight. And I think it was a highlight for everyone. It was so amazing.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing too. Now you also had Love Without Hairs, and I'm trying to remember. Do we talk about that one or some? I
Love
forgot.
Without
Yes.
Hairs was it was written by Raphael Buñuel, from the famed director of Louis Buñuel, and it was just a two-person show, and it was basically, it started off as a play. I didn't do the play, but the play was, I think, 10 or 15 years prior to us doing the movie, and then I did the movie, and I play a low class prostitute, and a John comes to see me, and I know that I'm going to be thrown out of my building, and they're going to tear the building down, and I have nowhere to go, and I don't want him to go. And it's like, you know, the games that we play to keep each other's attention.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
so that was 90, I think it ended up being 97 minutes, just a two-person, and a lot of dialogue.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that was a lot of dialogue. And then I did another movie called Free Lunch Express, and it was about Bernie Sanders. And I got to play Mrs. Sanders, Mary Sanders. So that was really fun. I was really hoping Bernie would go to the White House and we would have a premiere at the White House, you know,
Mhm.
but that didn't
And of course,
happen.
he'll come riding a bicycle too. You never know, but
You never know. But I mean, I thought that would have been great. And so that was it was like all kind of, they were all shot, actually. Free Lunch Express was shot and finished the day before they shut everything down for COVID.
oh wow. Okay. All right.
So then everything came out the same time. That, and I did another show prior to that, the year before, the summer before. I dared my best friend to ruin my life. And that was from a book. And it was one of the highest rated YouTube series ever. So I was the comic relief. You know, it was about two young kids, you know, that are very internet savvy,
Mhm.
but they were getting out of high school and what they were going to do between high school and college. And so that one was fun too. And then I went back to, we started off talking about Campy Lane and all the different evolutions of Campy Lane. And then I just decided, with everything that was going on, it's like the misadventures, because everything was a misadventure, you know, and it kind of is somewhat of a person life, kind of imitating art,
Mhm.
but it's real, you know, and you just take it to the next level, maybe, you know, but with me, it's always at the next level. So, yeah, but right now there's like some real interest in it. So I'm really excited about that, that somebody really got it and they go, "Oh, you remind me of a cross between a modern day Lucy and Curb Your Enthusiasm." And I said, "I've been told both." And then somebody said, "You kind of remind me of Mae West." And oh, she's my hero, you
Oh
know.
my
So
gosh.
I
Yes.
loved her.
And that's your brand new YouTube channel.
Well, no, that one, we're negotiating.
Oh, are we okay?
So it's yeah, it's not, that one's not out yet, but what I did was, the misadventures I shot, and I was hoping to get it on, you know, maybe like, I think they had Quibi at the time, and they were doing 10-minute shorts, and I was hoping to get it on there. And
Bless you.
excuse me. See, that's the truth.
Goes on tight.
Yes. And so I was hoping to get it on there. And then then with the pandemic and everything, and people weren't taking meetings, and you know, I don't like, and it's sort of the same thing with auditions, because now you do all these selfie auditions. You have no idea what they want, what they're looking for. There's no feedback, there's no energy to bounce off of, and you're just literally shooting in the dark. I think that's what I'll do for my next video. I
Oh,
just won't have any light.
Oh, that's a really good idea as well, too. And of course, you also embrace the 3D theory and more. We'll talk about that. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the multi-talented actress and producer Elaine Ballace after this time out. We're back with actress and producer Elaine Ballace of The Misadventures of Camp Elaine, Rich and Ruthless, and also the new book, How to Write a Book, Camp Elaine Style, The Mike Wagner Show. And you seem to embrace the 3D theory. And of course, this has really gotten in life. And ladies and gentlemen, listen up. This is important. Tell us the 3D theory.
Well, I was going to ask you that. No. Well, it's like basically what it is to me, it's a matter of like never giving up.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're doing is you're disciplined, you know, so you're constantly in shape. You keep, whether it's your mind, your body, both, but you're constantly in shape, and that you're very disciplined about the work that you're doing. And you're very determined about what you're going to do. And it's a matter of not being destroyed.
Oh, yes.
So that's basically what it is. So in other words, you want to constantly go forward. You want to constantly be in shape, whether it's just a mental shape, a physical shape, whatever. And usually some sort of physical activity is going to keep you mentally active as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole idea of being disciplined and dedicated and being able to not be destroyed by it.
And also, there's also a desire as well, too, which is also important. So,
and the desire, but I kind of have changed that a little bit to a P, and I think you have to have the passion.
oh, yes, that's so important. So be like,
I think passion is a better
3DP,
word, because
yes.
you can have a desire to do something, but if you have the passion to do it, then it kind of totally takes over your whole life, and you have to do it. Without passion, there is nothing, I believe.
That is truly correct, and we'll certainly embrace it. We're here with Elaine Ballace of Camp
Ballace,
Elaine.
no N.
Ballace, yeah.
I have no
gotta stay
balance.
balanced in the Mike Wagner Show. Elaine, just a few more minutes here. I mean, you've been amazing. I love what you have and everything. What else can you expect from me in 2022 and beyond, Elaine?
Well, I've learned that you just kind of have to accept every day as it comes, because I don't think anybody could have written what has happened to all of us since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of us, 2020 started off for the first 2.5 months just great, and I had so many things going and was really looking forward to a lot of it. And then poof, the COVID hit. And I was very fortunate, though. Actually, Oreo and I did some music videos,
Nice.
and that we were in, and I did, I was able to work a little bit, because I think at that point, people were too afraid to work, and it was like,
Oh, yeah.
I'll take my chances. And so that was okay. And then by 2021, everybody was like, what do we do? We can't stay locked up much longer. And then there was all the confusion. 1 minute you're free, 1 minute you're locked up, you're this, you're that, you're the other thing. And 2022, I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen, but I do hope that The Misadventures of Camp Elaine really does get picked up. It's looking good. So I'm really excited about it. And I've already written out the first 5 shows. And so if it does get picked up, then the next 5 shows will follow. I know they used to do 32 shows for a season. And now if you can get 5 or 6 in for one season, you're lucky.
Right, exactly. Because you never know when the next pandemic will hit, or it's like, World War III or anything like that, or another slap in the face or something. You never know. So, and of course, just a few more things. Yeah. I think that's for another subject. Maybe Mel Brooks can write about that. And,
Well, I mean, it was Venus and Serena, so that was just the forehand. Are we going to get the backhand?
well, that'll be discussed in another time. In the meantime, who do you consider biggest
Absolutely.
influence in your career?
Pardon?
Who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Mel Brooks, without a doubt. I mean, there isn't anything this man can't do. He is brilliant. He's the only thing he's a great musician and can sing. And I can't play an instrument or sing a note. But I will tell you one funny joke about that.
Hmm.
There was an audition a couple weeks ago, and it said the world's worst singer and the world's best singer. So I was looking and I found out who the casting director was, and I called him up. I said, "Look no further. I am the world's worst singer. No doubt about it." So he goes, "All right, well, send me your tape and all this stuff. Just apply online or something." And I said, "Well, could you?" He goes, "I'll send you the link." And I said, "Trust me, I promise you, you won't have to look any further. I'm it." So I was so excited because I knew nobody could hurt my feelings and tell me I was not the world's worst singer. I mean, if they said something about my acting, my skating, or anything else, I my feelings might be hurt, but singing, no. And you know what? The worst part is nobody can stop me from singing. I'll sing anyway. And people answer the phone very quickly because they know I'll sing happy birthday on their birthday if they don't answer the phone. And that way they can stop me. Okay, okay, we got it. So
Well, I guess
anyway,
I'll be expecting a call from you on my birthday, which I'm not
now
going to
when's your
tell.
birthday?
Oh, it's May 11. I'm gonna let that up for everybody. And guys, if you want to send me something on my birthday, May 11th, feel free to do so. I prefer PayPal. Thank you very much. So
Well,
send me lots of
anyway,
money.
so oh, I should say where they can get my book, but I'll finish the singing first.
Oh, go
And
ahead. Yes, yes. Oh, by all
um
means, go ahead.
so on the singing one, so I called the casting director and I was just like, I can't believe I didn't get this. I mean, this is what I should have had. And I said, "Well, who got it?" And he goes, "Nobody." He goes, "They canceled the segment." And it
No.
was like, I
Oh
was
my gosh.
devastated. But on how to write a book, and they'll see cute pictures of Oreo in there as well. And how to write a book can't be Elaine style. They can reach me at it's a P.O. box. It's Elaine Ballace, Ballace, at P.O. Box 50082. And that's Studio City, California 91614. And they can send cash, check, money order. But I don't do all the PayPal stuff because everything gets messed up with me. I am
Mm.
technically challenged.
It,
So I
it
stick to the old fashioned way.
it sounds like that PO box you gave was more for like sending a request Casey Kasem or get on a game show and everything like that. Kind of reminds me of the game show PO box, whatever it is, Studio City. I thought, hey, maybe I'll put in something in there and say, hey, this is for the game show.
Oh, absolutely. The game is how to write a book. And then I'm trying to get people to write their books and then tell me what their book is about.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll start mine tonight. It's ancient Chinese secret.
But I think it's really good because it's for one's legacy, like you'll write your book and your children, your family, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, everybody will have this book to know exactly what how you felt your life was, as opposed to them telling people what your life was. It's all written there for you.
And that's a really good point as well, too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice is to thine own self be true.
Hmm. Very true indeed. Yes, very true.
And just whatever, it's cathartic, inspirational, and it's your truth. No one can change your truth. It's like they always say there's his side, her side, and the truth. you know,
Yeah.
and it's whatever your truth is and how you want to be remembered and how you saw things and how you believed in things, as opposed to people saying, oh, well, he was, or and you go, I was nothing like that, or
Hmm.
I didn't think that.
Right.
So,
That's a very good point as well, too. Once again, we're with actress, producer, author, and the very multi-talented, along with professional ice skater Elaine Ballace here on the Mike Wagner Show. Elaine, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to
mwah,
having you again soon.
thank you.
No problem. And make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back, and we got to have you back. But first of all, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people purchase your book, check out your movies, and everything else?
Well, the best place really I think would be Facebook, because by the time I get done with Facebook, Twitter's just a little, and Instagram sometimes I forget about. if I'm doing pictures, then I do them to Instagram and Facebook. But I think I spend more time on Facebook. I know that I think, I'm at 5,000, but they can follow me and they're welcome to message me if they have any questions or anything like that. So that's a definite, for there. Definitely go there. Elaine Ballace, Ballace. The same for Instagram and the same for Twitter.
Okay. We certainly will do so. Once again, Elaine, a very big thank you for your time. You've been totally amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best, and you've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you. We finally did it.